Welcome back. We're here at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Mark Thompson, Matt Hetherington, getting ready for another one of the men's quarterfinals matchup. The USA-Canada matchup here. Jack Wang, the 17-year-old from Livingston, New Jersey, taking on Jeremy Hazin, who has a USATT rating of 25-30, a 17-year-old. He's from Richmond Hill, Ontario. Surprised he doesn't have his skates on. You have the hockey stick and ready to go. A lot of good players have come out of, a lot of good hockey players have come out of Richmond Hill. No, that city, that area, it's the Toronto Metroplex, and there's a lot of good hockey. Obviously some good table tennis as well, Matt Hetherington.
That's right. Jeremy Hazin this year, the Canada Cup men's singles champion. And
big swing by Jack Wang on point number one, but that's long. And Hazin takes a 1-0 lead. Here in the men's quarterfinals for the North American Continental Youth Olympic Games Qualification Tournament. Kind of a unique circumstance. One person, one male, one female, going to earn a spot in the Youth Olympic Games as a result of their performance today. It's going to happen today.
So the umpire there just giving Jeremy Hazin a warning to take his other hand away from the ball contact before he hits the ball on the serve. I think we're going to see a few more rallies in this game. Both a little bit more explosive, a little bit more aggressive players.
Hazin with a early 3-2 lead here in game one of a best-of-7 quarterfinals. We've already got a couple of guys who have advanced in the quarterfinals. One, the #1 seed, Kanak Ja, has advanced, and of course
he'll be playing Nikhil Kumar.
I like that matchup. That's going to be interesting.
That's going to be a replay of this year's U.S. National Championships. So interesting to see if Nikhil can do a little bit better than he did during that competition. Of course, Jeremy Hazin, now the last Canadian in the boys singles draw. Kanak Ja was able to win against Luke Sicard. So there's a lot riding on Jeremy Hazin here.
Hazin not happy with himself there. Swing and a miss on a ball that was dying at the edge of the table. Nice touch by Hazin. And caused Wang to step around the side of the table and hit it long, but that was just beautiful placement by Jeremy Hazin.
Yeah, it's a very difficult shot to open up on as well. Nice steady opening there.
Now Hazin up by 2 at 6-4 with the serve here in game one. Very nice attack that time by Wang off the serve. Drove it to the backhand side of Hazin. That was a difficult ball to handle.
He's got a very interesting serve, Jeremy Hazin. You'll see that his right foot actually goes around the side of the table. So his body weight balance is a little bit more towards the left when he serves.
There's a warning on the serve that time for Wang. So we got both players warned on the serve in the early going here. Oh, nice forehand response that time off the serve by Jeremy Hazin, who now leads 7-6 here in game one.
There you'll see again that body position. So he's actually facing away from the table when he serves. You don't see too many players doing that.
A couple of good backhands that time by Wang. The second one, the successful one, was into the body and a difficult ball for Hazin to handle. So he's now 8-8 here in game one. Oh, great return
great
that
deflection.
time. Hazin gives a fist pump to the sky after that one.
Nice serve return there. Stepped a little bit across for the backhand flip, but didn't play too quickly. You could see Jack Wang was anticipating. He was ready with his forehand, and then the ball came a little bit slower, dipped a little bit over the end of the table. It's a very smart play by Hazin. Now 10-9 with the lead. Has one more serve here to see if he can capitalize off this point and take the first game.
And he does. Jeremy Hazin takes game one. Good third ball that time as he was able to put himself in a position for a strong forehand and into the body on the backhand side of Jack Wang. And 11-9 victory in game one for the Canadian, Jeremy Hazin. Trying to hold up for the red and white for the for the Maple Leaf there. Yeah,
of course. Down to 4 players after this match, or after whether this match or the match on table 2 finish. And he is the last player from Canada with a chance to advance here. It's a good start for him. Good to see him getting some confidence. As I said, his first match today. Probably not quite the start that he was looking for. He definitely looked like his confidence had been shaken up, and despite winning the match 4-2, very evident that he wasn't happy with the way that he played. But so far this game, he's come out here and seems to be fairly positive, and has scraped away a first game win, 11-9 against Jack Wang.
Jack Wang, who coming into action today, the 6th ranked junior in the U.S. His USATT rating coming in 25.98, 17-year-old out of Livingston, New Jersey. Some good players up in that New Jersey area, including my colleague here, Matt Hetherington. Although you're a man of the world, you can claim just about any continent that you want as your home territory. So whenever you feel like it, you know, you can go.
Well, right now I'm quite enjoying my spot here at this desk.
Las Vegas is not a bad place to be.
So Jack Wang will be looking to get an early lead here in this game.
Good backhand to the body that time. Difficult ball to fight off.
It's funny, we've seen the same situation. Wow. Great positioning there. Jack Wang was off the table after he took that forehand, and Jeremy Hazin just calmly found the ball and put it in the space. Yeah, it's funny, the matches we've seen so far, most of the first games have been quite close as the players have found their way in the match. Really, I feel so far the second games have been a lot more important for like the overall match than the first game. So again, I think this second game is going to be quite important in deciding who can take this match.
Could have something to do with the nerves, too, in the early going of one of these matches, because a lot is on the line for these young people. They're playing for one available spot in the Youth Olympic Games.
Goes for the chop block. Good touch from Jeremy Hazin. Very difficult ball to judge.
He's done a good job of changing the pace of the ball in on Wang. Difficult to handle, and that backhand goes long. So Hazin now has opened up a 3-point lead, leading 1-0 here in the second game of the best of 7.
Again, there's that kind of little fade shot. Jack Wang's there waiting for the forehand, but it's not quite as fast. Usually when you play soft or you play float, the ball tends to dip lower. So if you're standing there waiting for a forehand to bounce up, it's not going to be there. So I think Jeremy's done a great job of controlling that ball.
That, on the other hand,
That serve return's not going to work. A little bit too high.
I think they may have the score wrong here. They're showing 8-3. Well, they go back to 7-4, so I think it should be 8-4 now. Backhand.
And Jack Wang puts that ball so far out of the playing area. It was not a chance that Jeremy Hazin was going to bring that back. A great start to the point, though, for Jeremy Hazin. He brought that ball across. Jack Wang opened off the side of the table a little bit soft. He wasn't able to follow up quite strong enough. And now it's Jack Wang closing the space to within 2 points and with the serve.
Shifted the momentum in his favor. Wang with the serve. That was a good one.
Serve. Yeah.
Yeah. It was difficult to handle.
Last few points, we've seen him using the reverse pendulum serve. It's worked a little bit better for him. Looks like he'll go for it again here.
Oh, beautiful.
And a great third ball attack there.
Stepped around on the side of the table and just drove it on what would be the backhand side for Hazin, and down the left side for Wang.
Bit of a lucky break there. Looks like he might have just tipped the edge of his racket when he hit that ball.
Well, Hazin up by a point at 9-8 here in game 2. That's long, so now back to even here at 9-9 in a critical game 2. Matt has said it, and I agree that in the matches we've watched, the second game has been a pivotal moment. So both guys kind of toweling off a little bit, headed here to at 9-9.
This is going to be tough for Jeremy Hazin because he's struggled with this reverse serve, and Jack Wang's going to go for it again. Goes for the softball.
Oh, beautiful play.
Jack Wang just steps into that last ball.
Great rally that time out of both players. There was that softball in the sequence, and Hazin, I thought, did a good job of reacting to it. Now Wang with game point, down a game in game number 2. And that does it. That ball went long, so Wang ends up bouncing back after losing 11-9 in game 1. He wins game 2 in the same score, by the same score, at 11-9. And things even up as Jack Wang was able to close Hazin out. The 1 point, the critical point there.
That second to last point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful rally.
Probably the best we've seen so far today, I think.
Both players were able to hit a couple of what you would say would be as good a shot as you would hope to hit, and the opponent had an answer to it. And I particularly like the fact that, you know, Wang was willing in that sequence to change pace, that he didn't try to power things by Hazin on each of those shots. But by the same token, I thought Hazin did an excellent job of responding to the change of pace.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also he did a good job of initiating the start of that rally, where he struggled with that receive of the reverse serve across that game. I thought his backhand banana flip that he used to return that serve was a really high quality shot. So now coming into the next game, I think maybe we'll see Jack Wang continuing to use that reverse serve, and we'll see whether that point was maybe a one-off or whether Jeremy Hazin has a grip on how to return that serve a little bit better. Because that could be quite a decisive factor. I think the reverse serve made quite a big difference in the second game for Jack Wang. Once he changed to that serve, he seemed to kind of surge forward a little bit. So he'll start off with it here again. And a great setup and third ball there.
Powered it down for Wang. It's his right side. That's the forehand side of Hazin, but he couldn't react. That time it's off the net and out.
Yeah, still the right setup though for Jack Wang. He got the ball that he wanted. That reverse serve's definitely paid some dividends so far.
Oh, beautiful touch by Hazin that time. Stepped up and just dropped one just over the net. Hit a couple times before Wang could get himself back in a position to make the play. A lot of the boys are a little sweaty here. They had to wipe off the table a couple times. They have to wipe off the ball now.
Nice opening from Jeremy Hazin. Jack Wang again making a more aggressive decision. Not necessarily the wrong decision, probably the right shot to make. Just a few small adjustments he needs to make with that shot. But at this point in the game, you have to be careful. Now, already at the start of this game, there's a 3-point gap. He doesn't want Jeremy Hazin to run away from him. He's got to try and keep it as close as he can, and that is a good way to start.
Brought that back on the table as his wide forehand just caught the upper right corner. Almost impossible for Hazin to handle that one. Oh, another good rally by Wang. Backhand, switched it around, stepped around onto the forehand and drove it home. Still down by a point. Hazin with the serve, leading 4-3 here in game 3. Now 5-3 as that's off the net and out. The serve flips back over to Jack Wang out of Livingston, New Jersey. 17-year-old.
And looks like he's going to change now from the reverse serve.
I think he had what he wanted there. He was in a nice position for that backhand flip, and just unfortunately caught the top of the net and went long.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough shot to play. He wasn't quite stabilized in position. The trouble is when you're coming all the way across the table, it's very hard to control where your body weight's transferring to.
Hazin, what a great return that was, or at least a great get the ball back on the table, because Wang's shot had so much spin on it. Virtually changed. It looked like about 5 inches after it hit the table, and Hazin did a great job of reacting to get it back on.
And good placement there by Jack Wang. Hazin almost in position, but really difficult ball as it kind of cut into the corner and into his body.
Good return that time by Wang, set that up, and Hazin ultimately dumps it in the net. Now Wang down by 2 with the serve here in the game 3 of a very even, so far, you get the feeling this is very evenly matched. 2 very effective players.
Gets a good setup off the serve.
That's an unforced error there. That's
Bit
one
of
that,
an unforced error, yeah.
yes.
And it looks like he's going to return here to the reverse serve. And a great inside-out backhand.
That's a tough shot, Matt, right there. That's a tough shot to hit. If you can hit that with consistency, you're gonna win a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, not only is it difficult, it's just so unpredictable. But still a 2-point lead here for Jeremy Hazin. And it's going to shrink now to just 1 point. We've had 2 very close games here in games 1 and 2. Game 3 looking like it's going to go the same way.
Oh, excellent rally, Wang, with a couple of short balls in that sequence, and then they went just flailing away, and Wang was able to drive one onto the forehand side for the winner.
Oh, and an opportunity thrown away there from Jeremy Hazin. Great serve return. Did a good job of following up. Even backed Jack Wang a little bit away from the table. He had exactly where he wanted him. And then just overplayed slightly on the next ball. And a good strong shot there from Jack Wang.
Perfectly placed that time in the box. It's so hard. It's almost like it coming into your belt. Almost a really difficult spot to return it from.
So now 2 game points for Jack Wang.
And Wang takes game 3. An 11-8 score. So Jack Wang, who was down in game 3, was able to rewrite the ship, comes back and has won back-to-back games and leads 2 games to 1 over the Canadian Jeremy Hazin.
Interestingly enough, I almost felt like the game had started to shift away when he changed his service away from that reverse serve. He lost a couple of points from his serve. Then when he came back to it at the end, he seemed to get a little bit more in control. I definitely think for him, the reverse serve is just working too well for him at the moment. I mean, yes, okay, he needs a few more different variations so that he's not always doing the same thing, but I think that's definitely a serve that he can rely on. I felt towards the end, Jeremy Hazin was a little bit softer on his backhand side, where Jack Wang made the first opening. Maybe in the beginning, Hazin was more aggressive and will play the counter, which gave him the advantage. Towards the end of that game, seemed to be a little bit more passive, and then we saw Jack Wang kind of stepping into the ball more and adding some more weight to the ball and finishing those points off. So now a 2-1 lead for Jack Wang. Nevertheless, very, very close and well-fought match so far from both players.
Starts on a good serve by Hazin that is dumped into the net by Wang. I think that one of the critical elements of this match, Matt, that I saw in that third game in particular was the backhand flip of Wang. When it's going and he's got that in a positive direction, he is a very effective player.
There it was. Again, that soft backhand I was talking about. First forehand ball from Hazin. Relatively high quality. Jack Wang brings it back across to the backhand, gets the softer ball, and then counterattacks. So right now, Jeremy Hazin's going to have to be more assertive with his backhand, or he's going to have to make the placement a lot more difficult.
Good serve by Wang that time, just as you were describing. It's working for you. I know you do want to get some variation in your game, but if it's working, just keep going to it.
It's been a very kind of point for point. One player gets ahead, the other player catches up. Very close match so far. And the angle a little bit too open from Jeremy Hazin. Pops the ball off the end. Seems in this last maybe 10 or 12 points, Jack Wang has been the player that's been the aggressor a little bit more so than Jeremy Hazin.
I would agree with you. His confidence seems to be brimming a bit in the last, as you said, note, like 10, 15 points. It just looked like his body language has changed, whereas Hazin, you're seeing a little bit more of the, I don't know if I'd call it doubt, but he's a lot of self-talk going on with Jeremy Hazin right now.
And a couple of good points from Jeremy Hazin against the serve of Jack Wang as well. Really, between these two players, when you're getting into a lot of rallies, it becomes slightly more about who initiates the attacking play in the point. Again, it doesn't need to be the hardest point, but you'll see Jeremy Hazin was the player that made the first opening ball against both of Jack Wang's last 2 serves. Managed to win both those points.
There's that inside-out backhand flip by Wang. Again, very effective back into the body of Hazin.
Looks like the umpire called a net serve there. And Jack Wang makes short work of that serve. Just marginally too high over the net.
Stepped up and just punched that one right off the table that time.
And Jack Wang back to the reverse serve. Almost gets the ball that he wants, but there seemed to just be a little bit of deviation on that ball towards the end that just threw him off a tiny bit.
Well, you can see it from here. It really did spin pretty tight off the table.
It looks like we might have a hook serve here. And a big setup play from Jack Wang.
Right down the line on Hazin that time. Of course, he's a lefty. That's his forehand side, but that's still a difficult ball to handle. 6-6 here in game 4.
Could see the intent there of Jack Wang. He's trying to get that wide forehand opening and really trying to expose the backhand corner of Jeremy Hazin.
Thought he had it set up that time. Well, we're back to even. Matt has said this has been an even match really the whole way around. It's game 4 right now. Hazin did win game 1, 11-9, but bounced back games by Wang, 11-9, 11-8. Now it's 7-7 here in game 4.
And a slightly lucky escape there. Jeremy Hazin popping that ball up. Jack Wang planting it right in the bottom of the net.
You can tell by Hazin's reaction, he was happy that that went in the net because I think he knew it was one that could have been buried.
And Hazin goes for the chop block again, but this time Jack Wang was ready for it. He's definitely grown in confidence with his forehand in particular.
Good job by Hazin to stand in that time because Wang, right off the return of service, took an aggressive posture and hit multiple good shots, but Hazin stuck right in there.
I think the difference in that play was that when Jack started attacking his backhand, Hazin punched back. He didn't play too soft. He really made an effort to play forward. And now, 2 game points for Hazin to level this match at 2-2.
You can tell he's got the excitement level going as well. He's pacing around his side of the table, and Jack Wang very patiently, very deliberately steps in with the serve, down 2 here in game 4. And a
very lucky break there from Jeremy Hazin.
Tough to lose a game on a point like that, but it is the fact that 11-8 victory that time for Hazin, and we're back to tied in this one at 2 games apiece. Just kind of what you'd expect. That's the feel of this match right now, is it's that tight.
Well, I mean, if you look at the scores here, you'll see that both players have actually won the same number of points in this match. So Jeremy Hazin won the first 11-9. Jack Wang won back 11-9. Third one for Jack Wang 11-8. Jeremy Hazin wins this game 11-8. So on points, we're 50-50. On games, we're 50-50. So it's about as even as it gets right now.
This is a good example, Matt, this little tournament that we're running today where one player is going from one man and one woman is going to earn an opportunity to be in the Youth Olympic Games in 2018 of Canada and U.S. kind of working together in a North American table tennis context. And I know this is something that both countries are working more so that going forward there can be more interaction between our 2 countries in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, definitely more training events this year between the US and Canada. And of course, the competition's expanded now because we've changed from North American trials or North American championships, North American Cup to the Pan American. So that includes Brazil, South America, Latin America, and similar qualification for the North American continent. So they're not losing out there, but the level of competition is quite significantly increased, which is great. Especially getting experience against those other countries where usually it's just the US and Canada playing against each other.
As Jack Wang has taken a 2-1 lead here in game 5. Games are tied at 2 apiece. Of course, it's the best of 7. So somebody's got to win 4 games to advance to the semifinals.
Great serve from Jeremy Hazin, but Jack Wang put quite a heavy amount of spin on it. Made it very, very difficult for Hazin to follow up with that one.
And Jeremy Hazin, the last remaining hope right now for the Maple Leaf. as America's already got 2 guys in the semifinal. Very interesting match coming up between Kanak Jha and Nikhil Kumar, which 2 young gentlemen who have seen each other multiple times in the past. Going to go at it in the first semifinal, and we got both the quarterfinals working in that direction here. The second of the series, there's table 1 where we have Wang and Hazin going at it. Table 2 action going on as well.
For the first time this match, we're really seeing Jack Wang on a runaway. 6-1 now. This is the biggest gap, 5-point gap we have not seen so far in this match. It's been so incredibly close between these 2 players. So this could be a very defining moment in this match.
Hazin does not want the train to keep rolling here. He's going to have to slow things down a little bit. He gets a little bit of a break. The ball went out of play. It's a little bit of moisture on the ball. We'll towel it down. Probably a bit of a break for Hazin there. In that other quarterfinal going on, Victor Liu and Michael Tran going at it over on table 2. And of course, we've got a stream now, Matt Hetherington, that you can watch either table 1 or table 2, and you can go back and watch the action.
That's right,
from the other table.
Yeah, I mean,
if you have to come over and if you missed something.
Nice, a little bit inside out there. And Jack Wang is going to call the timeout. It's 3 points in a row from Jeremy Hazin. You do not want to waste that opportunity. You have a 5-point lead. That's almost half a game. Cannot throw that opportunity away. Of course, when they come back, Jeremy Hazin will have the serve as well. So there's a lot of potential for him here to even this game up.
Just going to note, of course, this kind of kicks off the U.S. Open coverage here with Triode Media and our producers Jason Kirshner and David Del Vecchio doing a great job. Got a lot coming up this week, and as I understand it, we're going to have a little bit of expanded coverage of even what we've done in the past. And of course, we're all pointing towards the final table. The big events we'll be looking towards are the men's singles final. Lots of quality international players here in the States for the U.S. Open. Big prize money on the line, Matt Hetherington. I'm shocked that you're not in that mix. I tried to convince you. I think with your world ranking, you would have been right in there. I don't know if you'd have been an automatic qualifier or not, but you'd have been right in the middle of the hunt.
I think I learnt my lesson last year, trying to commentate and play. So
not an easy thing to do.
Sitting this one out. Plenty of excitement going on for me right here in points like this.
That was a good point right there. Good rally between these 2 gentlemen, and Jack Wang comes back out of the timeout and wins the first point. Stops that 3-point run for Hazin. Good touch shots that time by Hazin, and Wang responded with a little drop touch as well. But the second time he tried it, it went in the net. Now finds himself leading by 2 at 7-5 here in Game 5.
And great placement there from Jack Wang. Plays out wide and then brings it back in just a little bit, back into the table. His goal here is going to be to win both of these points. If he can take both of these points and extend his lead out again. But he just tightens up a little bit too much on that backhand.
That's a critical shot for him right there. You can tell that he kind of rolls off of the way his backhand flip works, and that time had it set up and just hit it long.
And a loose serve there from Jeremy Hazin.
And Wang made him pay. Beautiful return that time by Wang, and Hazin on the third ball had no hope whatsoever.
Nice pickup there. Jeremy Hazin did well to get his feet out there. And again, 2-point lead. Jeremy Hazin facing Jack Wang's serve.
great job by Hazin. Into the body that time of Wang. He got jammed. He was unable to come out with the backhand. Now only leads by 1 here in game 5. 9-8 with the serve. That was a big point because now Hazin knows he's going to get at least the serve back. Oh, what a shot by Wang right on the line.
I've seen that play from Jeremy Hazin a couple of times now, and it hasn't been successful. He comes in and plays the backhand flip. Then the next ball goes to his forehand. He knows it's going there and he waits for it, but he doesn't quite place that ball well enough. He plays back to the middle where he may be better off bringing it right across back to the backhand or a little bit more into that elbow.
Critical point here, obviously. Game point, another one for Jack Wang. 2-2 in games. Oh, and a beautiful serve by Hazin. And unable to dig it off the table that time was Wang. And now we're at deuce here with the games just where we expect to be. With the games tied 2-2. This game 5 tied now 10-10.
And a different placement there from Jeremy Hazin. Doesn't go across to the forehand, brings it a little bit more across to the middle. Just enough to change between Jack Wang playing forehand and playing backhand. Now he has a game point. Can he take a 3-2 lead here?
And he does.
A great setup there. Yeah, a little bit half long. Bit light on the spin, just popped the ball up just enough. And he did a good job of repositioning and putting that ball down the line. A very, very close encounter. Jack Wang having a 6-1 lead, but Jeremy Hazin really, really sticking to his guns with that game, and very impressive effort for him to come back, even to 10-10, let alone to actually win the game and give himself the advantage here.
And he was down several times, most of that game actually, right to the very end. Down at 1.61, he was able to put together that 3-point run to get back to 6-4. And from that point forward, it was kind of nip and tuck. Wang was maintaining a 2-point advantage and was in position actually to win the game on his serve, and Hazin staved him off and ultimately came around at 10-10 and got himself to the position with the serve to win the game. And I thought that last point, Matt, was as good of a setup on the third ball that we've seen from Jeremy Hazin in this match.
Yeah, definitely. I think towards the end of that game, we saw Jack Wang set up a few balls that I thought he would be able to finish off. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed, but obviously he's got bigger things to focus on here. He's going to come back out and give everything in this game.
Hazin takes an early 1-0 lead here in game 6. Oh, beautiful backhand flip. There it is. From what I've observed of Wang in this game, that is a very important stroke for him to have. If he's got it, it seems to boost the confidence that he has in the rest of his game. It's off the net and out, and Hazin reacts with a bit of a fist bump, now leading 2-1 here in game 6.
And see again, Jack Wang's moved away from that reverse pendulum serve. Interesting decision. I think one of the focus areas for Jack Wang that's worked really well for him is getting Jeremy across onto his forehand or to the middle and then opening up a little bit more space on his slightly weaker backhand side. Sometimes Jeremy Hazin doesn't quite cover that backhand line, or he plays a little bit too passive on that side. Great ball from Jeremy Hazin.
Yeah, I think Wang thought he had him beat on that particular rally, and Hazin was able to get it back on the table. A very awkward kind of almost punch shot by Wang in on the body. It's a very difficult position to hit a good shot. Oh, great return.
Fantastic shot. I almost thought that Jack Wang had the point after he forced that slow opening. stepped around. Got the angle adjusted perfectly to counterloop the next ball, but quick reflexes from Jeremy Hazin.
Now his flip goes long, and Wang picks up a critical point here in the early stages of Game 6. He's down 3-2. He's down 5-3. The serve does shift now to Hazin.
And there again is that play that's been working so well for Jack Wang. And it's an area that Jeremy Hazin really needs to work on if he wants to, you know, not let Jack Wang take advantage of the situation. The backhand play is too soft. Jack Wang makes that opening ball to the backhand, and Jeremy Hazin's really not doing anything with it. And we've seen on quite a few occasions now that Jack Wang is, when he gets the ability to follow up on that shot, he wins the point almost every time.
Now 5-5 here in Game 6. And Wang has come with 3 consecutive to take his first lead of this Game 6 at 6-5. He's down 3-2. And with the serve.
Great switch in placement there from Jeremy Hazin. And here we are again, neck and neck. Nice opening ball there. Jack Wang had good position for it. The ball did bounce a little bit lower than he was expecting. 7-6 now for Jeremy Hazin.
Oh, great play.
Again, Jack Wang with a great shot, but Jeremy Hazin gets a racket to it. You can see there's a lot of adrenaline going on with Jeremy Hazin. And Jack Wang will come back to the reverse serve. Gets that soft opening flip again, ready on his forehand. And there it is again. This is an area which just I don't understand why we haven't seen it more from Jack Wang in the crucial points. I definitely feel in the last set it could have helped him a little bit more. That reverse serve setup has just been so effective for him.
Great rally.
What a great finish for Jeremy Hazin.
Punch backhand to the deep, what would be left corner for him. It's on forehand side for Wang, but that was a difficult ball to handle. And now Hazin up by a point here, trying to push this towards match point, but with the serve at 9-8. Oh, good return on the first attempt on the backhand by Hazin, but Wang stuck right in there and ends up winning the point. Now makes it 9-9.
Did a nice job of getting Jeremy Hazin a little bit back from the table again. On that backhand side, he's still playing a little softer, or significantly softer than on his forehand side. So 9-9, Jack Wang with 2 serves. Will he go for the reverse serve again? Yes, he will.
Great return, though, by Hazin. Stuck right in there on that one.
Good enough shot to earn him the first match point here.
See where Wang goes on this serve.
And a nice little touch play there. Made a good decision to come back in and drop it short again.
Gutsy play by Jack Wang. Now we're going to get, I believe, a yellow card here on Jeremy Hazin. I don't know if something was said. I didn't hear anything up here.
I don't know if that was for him or for the coach. I'm not sure. But he will take the next point. And a second match point now for Jeremy Hazin.
Wang with the serve. See how he handles this. Oh, Wang, great backhand flip that time. Got on the table right at the edge, and Hazin had difficulty with it. We're back to deuce at 11-11. Serve shifts over to Jeremy Hazin of Canada.
And Hazin back from the table. And now the tables have turned. It's Jack Wang with a game point to take this to 7.
And the serve. Jack Wang of Livingston, New Jersey.
And
good return that time by Hazin. Yes.
Yeah, no better time for it. Out into the backhand corner. And he will have another chance here to try and close out this match. And
here we go.
Just gets in that ball.
Third match point here for Jeremy Hazin. Wang does have the serve. And it does it off the net and out. And Jeremy Hazin of Canada has advanced the semifinals in a nip and tuck battle with young Jack Wang of the USA. And Canada's still alive here at the North American Continental Youth Olympic Games qualification tournament at the Las Vegas Convention Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're just opening up action regarding the U.S. Open, and we've got a very unique tournament going on today. It is 16 young men, 16 young women, going at it in a one-day single elimination tournament. One person in the tournament is going to get a bid, an opportunity, qualify to play in the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires coming up in October of 2018. Big prize at the end of this rainbow, Matt Hetherington. And Jeremy Hazin of Canada still alive.
Still alive and still with hopes for Canada. Now, coming up next on this table, of course, is the girls singles semifinal. There's one Canadian left in those last 4 players, also Ivy Liao. So there's a little bit of a theme going on here. The Canadians are still hanging in there.
They're not going anywhere.
They're still going for that gold at the end of this tournament. And we're going to have Crystal Wang playing against Ivy Liao next on this table. Of course, over on table 2, I believe they may